the kingdom of shadows. Once upon a time, in the bustling realm of Ironvale, there lived a boy named Darian, the fourth son of the kingdom's wealthiest builder, Lord Thorn. Lord Thorn was a man of steel, his hands rough from decades of constructing towering fortresses and grand mansions. He was respected by all, but in his home, his shadow loomed largest. In the Thorn household, there was a single rule: only the strong deserved to rise. Darian's older brother, Halric, was the favored heir, destined to carry the family name into glory. Halric was gentle and kind, but in Lord Thorn's eyes these traits were weaknesses. "Kindness builds nothing," Lord Thorn often said, his voice cold as winter frost. Halric, unable to bear the weight of his father's expectations, left the family to follow his own dreams. The Thorn name never forgave him. Darian watched this unfold in silence, clutching a small wooden toy he had built himself, a dove carved with delicate wings. He wanted to show it to his father, to prove he could create something beautiful, something meaningful. But when Lord Thorn saw the dove, he scowled. "Wood is for weaklings," he said, snapping the toy in two. "Build something that lasts. Build with stone, not dreams." From that day forward, Darian buried the pieces of his dove deep in the garden behind the family's stone mansion. He vowed to never again show his true self, for he had learned that gentleness, creativity, and vulnerability had no place in a world where strength ruled. At 13, Darian was sent to the Academy of Iron, where boys were trained to become warriors and leaders. The Academy was not a place for play or self-expression. It was a battleground, and only the most cunning and ruthless survived. Darian quickly learned to wear a mask, a crown forged of confidence and dominance. The mask protected him, but it also grew heavy. The other boys admired Darian. They said he was strong, that he would one day be a great lord like his father. But at night, when the halls were quiet, Darian often wandered to the edge of the academy grounds, staring at the stars. He wondered if they knew his secret, that beneath the mask he was just a boy who missed his wooden dove. The Tower of Shadows years passed, and Darian grew into a man. He inherited his father's empire and built grander towers than anyone in Ironvale had ever seen. Each tower was taller than the last, their spires reaching desperately toward the heavens. "This," Darian thought, "is what strength looks like. This is how I'll prove my worth." But the towers cast long shadows over the land, and the people in Ironvale began to whisper. "Does Lord Darian ever rest?" they wondered. "Why does he build so much? What is he trying to prove?" Darian ignored them, for he could not let the whispers reach the quiet corner of his heart, where the broken dove still lingered. One day, as Darian oversaw the construction of his greatest tower yet, an old woman approached him. Her back was bent with age, but her eyes sparkled with wisdom. "Why do you build these towers, child?" she asked. "To show the world my strength," Darian replied, his voice firm. "Strength?" the woman said, tilting her head. "Or fear?" Darian froze. "Fear?" he scoffed. "What do I have to fear?" "You fear that without these towers you'll be nothing," the woman said. "But tell me, Lord Darian, what did you build before the towers? What did your hands create when you were just a boy?" For the first time in years, Darian felt the weight of his mask slip. Memories of the wooden dove flooded his mind, and his chest tightened with an ache he thought he had forgotten. "I don't remember," he lied, turning away. "The return of the dove." That night, unable to sleep, Darian wandered back to the garden of his childhood home. The mansion was silent now, its stone walls cold and empty. In the moonlight, he found the spot where he had buried the broken dove. He knelt down and dug with his bare hands until his fingers touched wood. When he pulled the pieces from the earth, they were cracked and weathered but still recognizable. He held them close, tears slipping down his face. For the first time, he whispered words he had never dared to say aloud. I miss you. I'm sorry." At that moment, the stars above seemed to shine brighter, and Darian felt something stir within him, a spark of the boy he had been, the boy who had loved to create. He realized that strength was not about building towers or wearing masks. True strength came from embracing the child within, forgiving himself for the shame and fear he had carried for so long. A new legacy Darian returned to Ironvale, not to build another tower, but to build something different. He gathered the people and told them his story, the story of the wooden dove and the boy who had forgotten how to dream. "Strength is not found in stone or steel," he said. "It is found in the courage to be yourself, even when the world tells you to be something else." The people of Ironvale began to see their lord in a new light. And though Darian never stopped building, his creations were no longer monuments to his mask, but reflections of his true self, strong, vulnerable, and unafraid to let his light shine.